Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Let's give a few minutes for the audience to build up. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Namaskar, everyone, and welcome to our conversation today. Thank you all for joining in. I see we have a marvelous group here, 71 at the moment, and Zoom. And of course, I also want to welcome those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube. Before we go into conversation today, let's take a moment to center. Let's center in present moment awareness, being here and now. Being with your body, its vitality. Remembering that the physical body is only an experience of your soul, your immortal body. It's only an experience, a covering, the experience of a vehicle or covering. Give attention to your emotional being. You can breathe into the chest, opening up to just loving being, loving kindness. Because we are in a group setting, you'll be also experiencing the energy or presence of all those who are in the group, energetically. Stay with the breath, understanding its nature is more than just air that you breathe in, but prana, apana currents that are moving the breath. These are soul currents. And be aware that you're also drawing prana, life force, from the space around you. Whenever you focus on the ujjayi, on the medulla point at the brainstem, and on the third eye. Just breathe in fully now, all areas, full yoga breathing. Breathing into the belly, open up the chest and shoulders. Find your grounding at the perineum area and your grounding at the center of the eyebrows. Energize the spinal column with your attention and by focusing on the energy flow along the column. Let's stay in that space for a moment, just centering. You are the universe. You are the center of your universe. Your essence is infinite consciousness, boundless and free. Your essence is pure and perfect and ever blissful. Your ego mind is what creates limitation. And it creates a disturbance in the pure being. And in ignorance, of course, the more expanded your consciousness is, the more you see the limitation of the ego. As much as you can, center in your highest awareness of self. Maintain a sattvic disposition, that of peace and love, light. Honor the body by holding it in your awareness and revitalizing it with the breath. And here we'll do the Om sound. We let that sound vibrate in the consciousness and in the energy field at every level. It's breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So the floor is yours today to converse with me. Notice that I've been guiding you through the meditations and sharing with you a lot of my personal practices. And though I share with you, I know that you will understand only to the level that you can. And of course, that level can increase by your practice. Today I want to be focused on you, on your journey, not about anybody else's journey, your journey. And I don't need to hear all the beautiful experiences you're having. I am more interested. Not that you can't tell me a little bit, you can. I'm more interested in the struggles that you are having, the clarity that you need, and the questions that you have about deepening your journey. I'm more interested in those. In this program, I'm focused on helping you, guiding you. From my experiences, from my awareness, totally dedicated to you. So I'm going to begin by inviting you to converse with me. I don't have any lecture to give. I've been giving you continuously. Let's explore the subject in conversation. So for all those of you who have questions, need clarity, need guidance, the field is open to you. Welcome everyone to our conversations today. I hope you weren't expecting a lecture this morning. All right, I see two participants with hands raised, and I'll take first Cam.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar and welcome.
Thank you. Namaskar, everyone. And my question is related to, it's from a summary of the previous part 1 course that we had. And this chart was included in our next part 2.
All right, just a second. Yeah, for those of you who have done the module 1 in the well-being course, you can ask questions based on that, because we have just given you the summaries of the first 10 courses we did before we proceed to further. So you can certainly ask your questions. Thank you, Cam. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So there's a chart that is included with the senses and elements, and it has the subtle senses and then the gross elements. And so I wanted to deepen my experience in understanding the subtle experience. And so where I'm at is I see the gross gross experience through the sense organs, like our eyes and ears, etc. So if we take our eyes, for example, then the chart shows that there's the subtle experience of sight, right? It's I don't know how to say it, benendrias?
Well, it's really a gross experience of sight that you're speaking about, right? Because
Exactly.
you see light, but
Yeah, so I see, so that's my physical experience. I see, I'm outside, I see the trees, but then in the table, there's like a sensory experience. There's a pranic powers that are behind the seeing, behind that experience
right.
of sight.
So in your meditations at any time, have you seen light?
It's not pronounced, no.
Okay.
And what
Okay,
would that
that's
be?
good. That's good. That's good. And in your deep experience of visualization or daydreaming, have you had a sense of color or light? When you fall into a little bit of a daydream, that you can visualize something and that you can see the color in your mind's eye.
Yeah, so
and it can become so real.
yes, when I was meditating, and it's not often, but I saw color of bluish circles. Blue,
Right.
but like
That's
it's
good.
not
That's
often.
good. That's good. That's one. Secondly, when you visualize, can you see in the visualization or that sort of daydreaming? Can you visualize colors?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that is a subtle sense of sight. That is a subtle sense of colors. The subtle sense is about color and form. So when you can, in your mind's eye, you can actually create this whole imagination of colors and form, and you can actually experience the effect in your whole being. That is the subtle sense of color. And then you have the subtle sense of sound. Sometimes we hear sound in the inner space. It's not the physical sound, but that, like for example, we hear that some of the great composers would go into the inner space, and then the melodies will come to them, and they're hearing this melody in their mind, and they need to produce it on the piano or instrument. So that subtle sense of sound or colors or form is where the subtle senses are. And then you have subtle taste. People can actually taste, like those great tasters, for example. They can actually imagine in their mind the kind of taste they want to produce, and then finally produce it. And then you know in their mind and in the sense of visualization or sensory, subtle sensory senses, they are picking up a taste. So you have taste, you have smell, subtle smell, you have subtle touch. Like for example, that's how I can experience someone's energy. It's not physical, but I can actually feel all that's happening in the inner space. So that's a subtle sense of touch. It's called sparsh. So all of these, they have subtle senses called, subtle smell is called gandha, subtle taste is called ras, subtle touch is called sparsh, subtle hearing is called nada, and subtle seeing is called color and form, rupa. That's how we see the forms in the subtle space. So those are the subtle senses.
So I have a question follow-up. A couple of sources of that experience that I would have. So one would be like, for example, I myself am visualizing. So I am behind creating this image in my mind, or I'm focusing on the voices or sounds I want to hear as a part of that visualization. So I'm creating it. But even though I am, that's still a subtle level, right? Because I'm doing it within me, within my, say, imagination or the inner space. But then I guess there could be another source of where that came from. Like you said, the composers, that melody that they say it didn't come from them, it just came. So that's not from their limited self. They're saying it's coming from.
Okay, so let's hold that for a moment. A good question. So when you go on Google, for example, when you're on the search box, You type in something. Where that information is coming from?
From the World Wide Web.
Right, the cyberspace. So when you go inside and you begin to create a desire to want to know more in a particular field, where do you think the information comes from? The inner mind space, the universal mind. All ideas are in a universal mind, like a cyberspace where all information is. All thoughts that were created by everybody. Einstein, all the great thinkers, all the great composers, all the great rishis, the seers, philosophers, all that information is already in the mind space, the universal mind. If we can tune ourselves to that space, we can pick up any information. Like, for example, at the same time, great masters in certain professions, they're doing something, somebody in another country far away begins to pick it up. It's like the 100 monkey principle. When a colony of monkeys started to wash potatoes, then everybody caught it without even somebody having to tell them. So this whole thing about our mind is a subset of a universal mind. So if we can tune our mind to the universal mind, we can pick up any information. So generally, people who are deeply into a particular subject, they are able to attract more knowledge from the inner space. So sometimes when we think it is our own original creation, it is somewhere already some years ago or centuries ago, somebody already thought of it, and we are picking it up because we are vibrating with it.
Okay, and I imagine one of the things we can do to align better to that space is through the posturing, right? The way that we posture. So even, yeah.
When you go into Google, you make a request, right? That request will be based on the nature of your contemplation, the nature of your desires, what you want to know. Similarly, if you're a composer, you're somebody in the space, it's because you have been working on these melodies and somehow you feel that there is more there, so you want to know more. So that's an inner request. So long as you have a desire to know, knock and it shall be open to you. When you seek and you shall find. When you have a desire to know, you're really tapping into the doors of information. And that desire to know is what attracts the information towards you.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. And how do we pronounce that? Nendriyas?
How do you?
It's J-N-A-N. It's the powers of knowledge.
Yeah, Gyan.
Oh, Gyan.
In N word, yeah. In Sanskrit, you say instead of Gyan, it has an accent and differently. The pronunciation, like Yaneshwar or Gyaneshwar. One is more the kind of Hindi, and one is more the Sanskrit. Yaneshwar, Gyaneshwar. Jnana Yoga, Jnana Yoga.
Okay. Yeah, because
the classical Sanskrit would be the Jnana Yoga.
I know the Gyan word, G-I-A-N, which means the knowledge.
Yeah, the same thing. So it's Gyanendriyas, when you say easy pronunciation, Gyanendriyas. Yeah, Karmendriyas and Gyanendriyas. These are the inner powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, namaskar. Let's take Jyoti, Holland. Jyoti, I thought your hand was
Yes, namaskar, Guru.
Namaskar.
Yes, I had my hand raised and then lowered again.
Okay, so you don't need, you have a question?
Well, there's, at the moment, I'm very struggling.
I can see that.
And it has to do with the outer, but the inner and the outer are related, don't they?
They are.
Yes. So there's an experience with my mother. She has an intruder. She is attacked by an intruder, and she can hardly move a limb. So that's quite an experience, and it relives all Second War traumas. And I'm the one trying to manage for her safer circumstances. So when you say to us, have an awesome day, for me it's very difficult to remain centered and have an awesome day.
Okay, so that was my wish to you. It doesn't mean that you will have it. It's my wish for you to have an awesome day. But in my way of thinking, if you have an awesome connection to the self, then that is the best awesome day you can have. Outside may never be the best, but in my inner world, in my connection to myself, that is where my awesome power is, that I am connected to an awesome self that secures me for my day. That's where my awesome. So when I say to everybody, have an awesome day, I mean, let your connection to the self be awesome, that your day will be the best day it can be.
All right, I can see that, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm constantly training to remain centered, but there is still.
All right, let me try to give you a few things that I would do in your situation. Now, my mother, I'm putting myself in your position. My mother is having difficulties. The difficulties will be arising from her own consciousness and her own karmas. So whatever is happening in her world, the challenge is it is happening in a karmic kind of, under a karmic principle. That is what she is attracting to her in the moment. That is what the karma is playing out at the moment. Now I am her daughter, and she's my mother, so I'm caught in this mother-daughter relationship, and of course, I want to help her. But if I want to help her from my own mind, then my ego gets into a place of wanting to help her, and unless my ego gets into a better place than she is in, unless my ego gets into a better place that doesn't make me depressed, or make me sad, or make me feel challenged by what's happening with her. Unless I can come into a better space, I can't help her, nor can I help myself. So first, the first thing that needs to happen more than anything else is either I pray if I feel helpless and I can't feel the connection, I pray for the connection, and I pray for something to happen. I appeal to a greater power if I feel helpless. And if I feel at all that I can bring myself into a better space, that I can help her in a better way, then that's what I will do. But I always observe the limitations of the karmic experience, that people are held in their own karmic place. I also look to see how the divine wants me to interact in that. And then I open myself to all the divine support that will come, not wanting my ego to do anything without that divine support. That's how I operate.
I don't want to make myself big in a way, but that's what I'm doing.
No, you can't make yourself big unless you do that through the divine.
You don't get it. I don't want to make myself big, that I understand everything what you say, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I think I'm in a good space.
Good.
I'm silent, I'm centered, everything, but I don't have this awesome feeling which I had some days before.
Yeah, but I still have the ability to wish you that. Even though you don't have it, it's my way of doing. Have an awesome day. So I'm just wishing it.
Yeah, but what can I do that I
Okay, good. Then what I would do if you get a wish like that and you don't feel awesome, I say thank you so much. I'm praying that I can feel that.
And what can I do about some kind of, there is this energy in the back pulling?
She is called Kundalini. She's greater than this human me. Mm-hmm. And I can't say what she is doing inside of you. She alone knows, because she is the power of the universe. And I would only pray that you understand what she's trying to do. If I can help you through my own experience, I will. So you said that you are feeling this energy at the back of the head?
Yes, yes.
Right, and? What is
Well,
what is it doing to you?
It's pushing and pulling and trying to disbalance me.
Right.
Disbalance me.
Do
But
you really
I'm
do you really think that this great infinite power that we call Kundalini, if it is Kundalini, is trying to unstabilize you or destabilize you? Do you really think so?
Maybe I put my words wrong, and it's helping me to see some kind of lesson or something like
Not
that.
only that, if she's up in the head area, that means that she has access to the heart. So in that case, when the head becomes stressful, it's important to use the power of the heart. Come back to a place where your power is. Normally, if an army goes advance forward and they're threatened, they need to come back to the fort where they can strengthen themselves. So if I, for some reason, would overstress my mental field, then I come back to the heart. And I strengthen myself again to advance in the mental field. In the 40 days of 1978, that's what I had to do. When the head became very stressful.
Yes, I have also related to this another question, because I try to help to contribute to have the more safe circumstances. And I try to do this from the heart, but the management isn't open to receive this.
Which management? Which management?
The management of the apartment she lives.
Well, no, the thing is, you cannot dictate what is going to happen in the outer space. So
I
that's
know.
a whole other game of relationships. So I don't want to go into that now. I want to take other questions as well. But that's a whole thing of learning how to work with relationships karmically. Today I wanted to explore meditation and the process of meditation. And I want to stay with those questions that are involved in the meditation practice. But what you're speaking about now is that when you go into a loving space and it's not working, that's a whole different question. That's about relationships.
Okay,
And how to
I
work
thought it's the inner space.
No, inner space is the love. So the main thing is that no matter what is happening on the outside, you should be able to stay stable in the inner space. Meditation helps you to do that. And I was saying that when the energy becomes stressful in the head, just come back to the heart. Smile. And hold yourself in that divine smile with your infinite being inside.
I know I'm able to do that.
Right.
But
Keep
not
it there,
now at the
Jyoti. Keep it
moment.
there. Keep it there. Your name is Jyoti. You are the light. Keep it there. Namaskar. Okay, let's take Victoria. Victoria. Great to
Namaskar,
see
Guruji.
you. Namaskar.
Nice to see you too. I've been doing my lessons, and I've been watching and participating in the meditations almost daily.
First, I must tell you that you look great, radiant from inside.
Thank
so
you.
I can see that you're practicing.
Thank you very much. I have a question for you about karma and ego, and particularly, I would like to know how do I differentiate if an event that happens in my life is a karmic event versus it's something that triggered by my current actions. And particularly, I find right now that I am in a toxic environment at work, and I want to know if that I practice non-resistance or I act. Like, how do I differentiate what steps have to be taken?
I understand. The karmic play doesn't only involve what is stored. It also involves how you act and the responses as you act. So it's also current that you are involved in a karmic play. So the moment you act, the universe is going to react. So the karmic play is dynamic. As you act, reaction comes. So in the workplace, you need to begin to observe what happens as you act and how you feel deep inside. So for example, let's say you are challenged by something. Should I resist? Or should I engage? Or should I just hold back?
Yes.
Is it my ego if I engage? Or should I become just non-engaged? So yeah, I understand. So the whole idea is that how do I feel inside as I begin to engage? And as I begin to engage, what is happening as a response? And how do I feel when that response comes? So if at all you are connected, let's say you're connected to the divine there, and you feel this little voice telling you, don't engage. Nobody's going to listen to you. It's going to get bad. Don't engage. So you need to listen to that little voice when it's telling you that. If the ego gets too caught and you begin to react, for example, that you want to fight back, then you're on your own there, because this ego is going to create consequences that can escalate.
Okay.
So you need to listen to that little voice. You just stand back and say, what does the divine want me to do here? So it's important you become a little quiet and then begin to listen to the inner voice. The inner voice could be, what would the guru do in this situation? How would he advise me here? How do I feel when I come into that meditative awareness? How do I feel? So you need to find a way to engage with this self inside of you.
Okay.
We call it intuition, when you can be guided by the self inside. So that's something you need to develop, a sixth sense. So every time you're doing something, what does my sixth sense say?
Okay.
Right? And then sometimes when the resistance comes, you feel, I feel powerful here. I feel divinely guided. I feel supported. I can do this. I don't like that. I'm going to do this. And then the more you think about it, the more this energy comes up inside of you to engage.
That's the thing is, like, I fluctuate. Sometimes, like, I have a strong desire to address an issue because I feel the strength inside of me. But other times, I don't know where the energy went. Like, I feel zero. So
is that in the engagement is zero, or is it in the strength inside it is zero? The desire to engage is zero?
Inside.
Right.
Like,
so that means that means a red light, no green light.
Okay. Okay.
Whenever you feel that zero energy inside, it's a red light.
Yeah.
It's time to think it over.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you, Victoria. Okay, so let's take Faiki. Faiki, you've been waiting a little bit.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Faiki.
Namaskar. I'm enjoying the meditations very much. And I have a question about the meditation. Because on Thursday you said something very interesting. Don't breathe through all the chakras without thinking of the energies. And I discovered that I often didn't do that. So now I'm practicing that, and I like it very much because I feel more the energies now. And I was wondering, because I think I sometimes tend to stay too long in one or two chakras. So when I'm practicing thinking of all the energies while I breathe, I feel more balanced. And for how long I have to do that? Can I go back to the chakras I would like to go, or is it better to?
No, the first thing you do is try to energize all of them. And then so that you can feel the vitality or energy across the whole spectrum. And then you might enjoy being in a particular one. You want to go back there, go there. You have the freedom to do that. But the first is you strengthen the whole spectrum. You strengthen every area. You don't want any weakness there. Because you can have the best experience when you come back to the one that you love or feel drawn to and work them over. But I'm very happy that you're looking for the energy awareness with the breathing as well. That's beautiful. And continue to do it. And just explore, because sometimes the belly might need more attention, so you come back to the belly and stay in the belly. Or the heart might want a little more attention. Or the brain may want a little more attention. Then you choose to go there and spend more time.
Okay. And I have another question. Lately, I have a lot of kriyas. I think they are kriyas, like movements,
Yeah, they are.
sideways, and also and that's new for me. How do I say it? On the arms, this side, like I want to twist them.
Mudra. Then do it. Do it.
All right.
Do it
All
with
right.
do it with her guidance. Do it with her guidance. The mudras.
Okay. And they're opening meridians or
Yeah, energy channels.
Okay.
Because the meridians we know are only on the surface. They are more, so that's why the needles can go along them. But inside we have channels that we don't know. In yoga we say that there are 72,000 of these inner channels. So all kinds of things can happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar. All right, let's take Bridget. Just, can you unmute?
Namaskar, Guru. I want to say I really appreciate you, all the help you're giving us. And I am still, I experience a lot of the energy in my body, particularly in the throat and in the back of the head, and also in the gut. And but I'm still, when I do the meditation, I very much appreciate going into the energy centers and feeling them with the subtle awareness. I know that I have to practice more. And this is probably why I'm still not quite in balance, because I am experiencing still issues on a physical level, which I know have surmounted, I've made great progress, sort of restored my own digestive system and gut after going through a really hard time with it. Now, this sleep has been an issue for 20 years. And I still rely, though I have minimized to a very little bit medication, but I do take herbs. Now, sometimes that impacts the gut. And when the sleep is off, the gut is off, and vice versa. The gut impacts every, vitality, everything, and my sleep particularly. So I have almost made sleep a priority, and sometimes I'm not attending all the Guru Gitas because of this, because I feel destroyed when I don't get the sleep. And I know because I'm getting a little bit older, I'm still focused in the body. I'm beginning to experience more subtle awareness in the activity too, but I have to focus on it because I'm not carrying that so much strongly. I'm aware of the emotional energies I'm emitting. I'm aware of my vitality, of course, and I'm aware my mental processes very much so, but the indriyas, I realize I need more alignment. I need to come into balance. And I know you're going to say practice. And that's, but...
Yeah, and practice is one. Practice is one because from what you're saying, you're speaking of many things that you can do. So the opportunity to practice is there for you. And of course, practice makes perfect is what the saying is. Practice can take us where we need to go. But I want to caution you a little bit. in terms of using the mind to create conditions, are not realizing that we do that. So for example, you think that if I don't get this amount of hours of sleep, then I would not feel good. So when you begin to set that condition in your mental frame, then you are already telling the body cells, if I don't get this amount of hours, you are not supposed to be feeling good. So that kind of internal suggestion is more harmful than you could think about. So it's always good not to set any condition like that, but to hold yourself open, because meditation as well can help in the process. Sometimes I would lie down and I know that my energies are not exactly in the body where it should be. And I'm thinking, oh, but just lying down will help me. And then afterwards, when I realize the body is not going into any kind of power nap, then I said, no. I get up, I change the energy field by my breathing until I can feel better in the body. And then when I lie, sometimes I may not need to lie anymore. And if I lie, it's a different experience. So I don't set any condition for that I need to sleep this amount. But I do well in 5 to 6 hours. But that's what I observe as a condition, but I'm open. And once I get into meditation, it brings my body in such a state of restfulness that I know it mimics deep sleep. So what is a good practice is what we call yoga nidra. But a lot of things on the internet may not be the real yoga nidra, because they give a lot of music and guided meditations, unless it takes you to a state of complete stillness on the inside with the mind out of the way and the body being completely relaxed. So the yoga nidra is supposed to mimic deep sleep, when the mind is out of the way and the body is completely in the rest mode. So when you can actually simulate that in the waking state, and some people do progressive relaxation to go there, or other kinds of relaxation. But when you can kind of get to that state, it helps you to need less sleep. So in a case where it's difficult for you, whatever the condition of the body is, but you need to explore. And I'm not sure that you have the facility to do that, but in Ayurveda or Chinese medicine, or even acupuncture work, they can help in some of those situations, far more than I can advise. So, but what I would say is just be careful of the mental conditions you set for yourself.
Yes.
And for me, I believe in all possibilities. So at the moment something is happening, I open my mind to every possibility. And then when I do that, information comes from everywhere to support me. I get different dimensions to information, just coming to the universe, from the universe. So I know that I should always be open to every possibility and don't cast anything in concrete to think that this is how it is. Because in a world of all possibilities, anything could be anything. You never know, because so many factors contribute towards anything. You cannot tell. You may be seeing only a part of the story, and that's what you think it is, when there are so many other factors involved in it. So I wouldn't want to say that in this world that my knowledge of anything is complete. In the inner world, yes. When it comes to consciousness, yes. But anything to do with this world, I don't think my knowledge will ever be complete with the material knowledge.
Can you recommend, Guru, a particular video for the Yoga Nidra? Because I have tried it.
I think talk to Dr. Bhavani. She's good. She has used that process very well. But talk to Dr. Bhavani. I'm sure that she's going to come on again at some point. She might be here.
Has been
Dr. Bhavani, do you want to comment on this a little bit about your Yoga Nidra practice? You can do it here.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you clearly.
Okay. Namaskar, everyone. Nice to be with all of you again. And Guruji, I'm really enjoying the session.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone who's been sharing. Just to answer your question there on Yoga Nidra, it's been a passion of mine since you introduced me to it in 2015. And I share that with everyone. I come across at least kind of practice to help them. What is getting back into a proper sleep, pattern, or they're missing some of the sleep at night, and they just need to rejuvenate during the day. Basically, what Guruji is saying is correct. Not every yoga nidra that's out there is good. There are many, many on YouTube that you can look at, and but they're not all taking you into the place that you need to go, because really it's to take you into that state of deep sleep. And yoga nidra really is, if you do half an hour of yoga nidra, is equal to almost 3 hours of deep sleep, is what they say. So it really, really helped me and many others. And I did do one that Ajay has sent out, a 17-minute one. If anyone like Bridget, maybe she could be, it may help her. And there are others, so I could always be in contact with Bridget or anybody else who needs it, and I can recommend a good one for them. It's really, really powerful.
Okay, appreciate that, Dr. Bhavani. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Yes, Bridget, so you got your answer there, and you've gotten your support there. Let's go to Satyadev, Texas.
Namaskar, Guru. Namaskar, everyone. Guru, your conversation with Victoria from Toronto prompted this question.
Yes.
So my inner space is really fantastic from what I'm experiencing, especially the last 2 days of meditating with you in the morning. It's been out of this world, really phenomenal. But one of the things that I'm experiencing is that when I start to engage in my daily activities, specifically like work-related activities, I'm experiencing like a heavy tamas, where I'm like really not motivated to do anything, and I'm really struggling to get my tasks done. I get them done, but I really have to push hard and work hard mentally to motivate myself to actually get it done. And I was just wondering if you could comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a good question and a good contemplation. When you're meditating, for a lot of us, when you say you feel good, it can be that you're meditating more on the mental space, the peaceful space, the most powerful space. But it may be that you're not integrated with the lowermost part of you as passionately as you're operating with the head. So for example, the gut. Then it may be that you are not into gut awareness as much as you can, because in all the physical activities and all the martial arts and all the yoga and everything to do physical, we go to the gut to master it. And so it's very much an Eastern kind of practice to stay gut-centered. And so if you begin to explore gut awareness and doing the core exercises, and I know you love exercises as well, but coming into the core and really exploring it, not just through a gym, but also through the martial arts or yoga. Get into the Mulbandh, or get into the belly breathing or the Manipura, and then begin to see what happens in activity. There's much more vitality, there's much more buffering in terms of being fearless and not being intimidated, and a lot of self-confidence can come from the gut. The other thing, what it does is when you begin to strengthen the gut, it has an effect on the mind as well. And you begin to feel that your mind begins to become more strengthened. So sometimes we need a strong mind to really manage challenges. Not only a strong gut, but we need a strong mind. But there is a very nice relationship between the gut and the mind. That when you strengthen the gut, you begin to feel that mental fortitude as well. So I would say learn to strengthen these two areas and have them working in tandem. And that's what we do in the martial arts.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Guru.
Yeah, thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Let's take Pooja.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Pooja.
So mine is pretty much a basic question. Basic for me, and actually one of the basic principles of a really good and powerful meditation. But there's a part B to this as well. The basic rule of meditation would be breath work. Now we've come to learn understand and appreciate the importance of breathing for a good enough meditation, if not perfect one. I haven't gotten to the place of perfect as yet, but I'm climbing those stairs gently and easily. When we do the nourishing of the body through breath work, we are using all of the gross breath that we can by nourishing all the areas that we've learned from you over the years, in extending the belly and energizing the entire area from the base chakra right up to the third eye. But during the meditation, and the body is perfect at that point, perfect enough for the actual sense of meditation. But over the past few years, I have found a lot of difficulty in using that particular kind of breathing, the breathing of extending the belly and doing the meditation. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. And that has been my dilemma for quite a while. What I've discovered within recent times is when the body is nourished enough from the breathing, I revert back now to reverse breathing, as we all know. And that I found would have helped me tremendously. And I would have heard you speak about the reverse breathing a few mornings ago on the Guru Gita program. So that has been helping me tremendously to improve my quality of meditation. And so the question here is, am I doing a right thing, or is there another way that I can work the breath differently to get to some better level of meditation? And the part B of my questioning would be, are we supposed to try to get into meditation? Are we supposed to get into meditation and try to come to that place of center, try to be calm and to do anything that we have to do, or to do the nothing? Do we have to try to do nothing in meditation? And if that is the case, because I've always thought meditation is to go and just be. But if we go into meditation and just be, and I've heard you say this a number of times, you don't just sit in meditation and do nothing. So that part I'd like some clarification on as well.
All right,
please.
so thanks, Pooja. So you have two questions there. The first one concerns the breathing, the reverse breathing, and also the extended breathing of the belly. Now, when you do extended breathing with the belly, you're really expanding the lower lungs. So what you're doing there is to feed the body more oxygen. The brain needs oxygen, nervous system needs oxygen, every cell needs oxygen. So we need to make sure always that we are much oxygenated. And because in meditation we use quite a lot of the brain when we are beginning meditation or we are continuing the process as a seeker, we need a lot of oxygen too. And so the extended belly is for that, to make sure that you're firm in the oxygen. Plus, it's a way of also building the strength of the lower dantian state, the lower, the Manipura. It's building the Manipura strength as well. But when you come to the meditation, for me, the reverse breathing has a way of not becoming too engaged in the physical, but it takes me more into the inner space. And with very short breaths, I can energize the whole system. And so that too helps to do a final recharging for me. It helps to fine-tune the recharging as I do that, and then my body has enough prana, plus it has enough oxygen for me to go inward. So let's talk about the going inward now. So continue to use the two types of breathing as you find them effective. And now, when you come into the meditation, the whole idea is learning how to let go and how to connect with the inner power, if you can. Now, I know in your case that you can. So the idea would be, how do you meet with Kundalini? How do you meet with the evolutionary energy? How do you meet with that energy? So you look to see where it is that you may feel her the strongest. Is it in the heart? Is it the gut that she wants me to be? When I come to my gut, do I feel more connection to my mind? When I come to the heart, do I feel more connection to my mind? What is my energy trying to tell me? Where is it trying to lead me? And then you use that. But if you don't feel a connection with the energy, then you need to come in there and then work some kind of practice like mantra or like breathing until you begin to feel a change in the state, until you go into your best desired state. Because it depends on what you want out of meditation. For some of us, we want meditation for healing and well-being. So we go in there with the breathing patterns and removing stress. And once we feel well at every level, we are good. Then there is a seeker who wants to know self, who wants to develop higher consciousness. When they go in there, there should always be the co-creative kind of play with the universe to evolve. Where does it want to take me next? What is happening in a space? Or we can do, who am I? Am I the body? Am I the mind? Am I the emotion? And trying to detach from everything that you are not, that you may come to what is. So that is a different kind of meditation. Go ahead.
But my concern here is, in that questioning, where does it want to take me? What is happening here? Where does she want me to go? Is that not conscious mind questioning? And
of course, but remember, I used the word co-creativity. Okay. So you're asking a question in a space where you expect a response. So it's a divine play, and especially if you begin in a meditation to feel any kind of presence that is greater than your own, then you are in a co-creative play. And then to this power that you feel, I want to feel more of you. I want to feel more of your peace. The moment you begin to feel a little bit of that, you go inside like a child, wanting more. And then as you begin to want more, you need to listen to the messages that will come. Because sometimes we want more, but we're incapable of identifying the message that is coming to us. So the little voice may say, well, breathe a little more deeply. Or go to your heart. You're too much in your head. So we need to listen to those little messages and not think, oh, I need to go here, I need to go there, I need to go there.
So the question of trust comes in here now. When we get those little messages and those little directions, the question of trust comes here. How do I know that I'm not trusting?
Let me answer that. Now, if the question of trust comes, then it is important. If your mind tells you, should I trust this? Well, do it and see what will happen. You don't need to trust. Be the explorer, be the scientist, go after it. Okay, let me try this out, let me try that out, let me try that out. And then you build trust through experience.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pooja. The field is now open. Okay, we have Dr. Jenny Rouse. Jenny.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar to you.
Namaskar to everyone, really, because I did my meditation this morning with one of your CDs, you know. The talk was phenomenal. So when I come now to the meditation part, you know, I'm not getting I got the warmth, of course, in the chakras, but what I would normally get, I didn't get. And, you know, I smiled after. It wasn't dry. And that led me, and I liked what you were answering just now because it prompted more of what my question was. It's amazing listening to Cam as well. And I want to thank the group because the moment we all opened virtually, I just got the shishivna from everybody. And you said it. It is a collective energy. But coming back now, I'm listening to Cam with her toxic environment in the workplace, which I experienced below. But it brought such fundamental challenges and growth because you would feel, in my case, I would feel the shishumna knowing that I had to say something more than just be silent. But now, looking from where I am here now, so I'm no longer in the office, which I used to now see as my laboratory. And I now are choosing where I go, what I do, because I'm in retirement. So the whole arena is at my disposal. So I wouldn't call it a struggle, but what I sense paying more attention to is that subtlety of doer, the role of the doer.
Yeah.
And I constantly have to be, just what you just answered, I have to be constantly asking a kind of rhetorical question, is it me doing this? But also, I'm relating it to keywords that you had mentioned in our, I think it was module 1, where you say, okay, merit. These are the keywords that came: merit, deserving, and karmic play. Because I enjoy my morning meditations, but then there's a gap between some where when you would want to have that same sensation, it doesn't come the same way. And it's as if Kundalini allows you what I call like spatial tension, so that you don't get what Pooja just said, that do I have to meditate all the time? She allows you to act. And it is in that acting, I get the questions, am I deserving? Is it that I have to do something more? And in recognizing, wanting to know, is I am the doer here, or is it she? And I think what I'm seeing overall, the areas that she's sending you out of this office and very gross form of struggle to the more very subtle forms of struggle. And I think that is where the karmic play gets very, and ego gets very, very subtle. And would you say at that point to ask for more of that silence, witnessing, before just acting?
Yeah, and when you meditate as you're doing and you enjoy it so much, it's a kind of engagement that may not be challenging as when you have to decide where to go and what to do, and you can't tell what the experiences will be. But there's another way of working with that, because you know that engagement with the world is a whole different ball game to engagement with the self only, right? So here you have to engage with the self outside. And the self outside is operating in so many different ways. The energy field of the whole environment is also coming from the self, but in lower consciousness.
Right.
So the idea then is learning how to meet a different kind of play and treat with it. So what is happening there is the need for witnessing, the need for no judgment, the need for engagement in the divine, that the divine is out there as well. And when you begin to hold that witnessing means I open myself to any experience on the outside. I want to be able to recognize the divine play that is happening in the space where lower consciousness dominates. I want to understand the play. What the divine does when you have this awareness, she protects you. So she begins to protect you. She tells Jenny, don't go here. Just go here. Jenny, don't stay too long here. Come out of here. And then when you begin to feel this, then you know that she is with you even in the play and in the engagement. So you don't lose that exciting connection you have with her that you had in your meditation. She is now here outside, but the territory is different. It might be a little bumpy. You have to be a little more wary, a little more conscious. But you need the same principle of connection and communication. That's how you master the play.
That's it.
Inner engagement or outer engagement, it's a little bit different because now you're riding this vehicle differently. This vehicle is going to traverse the world. and it's going to have interaction with all kinds of energies. But so you have to really listen to her even more deeply. And they're outside. And she may even send one to tell you, lady, don't go here, go this way. And then you realize, there she is.
Thank you. That is such a comprehensive answer. You gave me more than I was even expecting, because you remember we also co-creating and coexisting.
Absolutely.
And I tend to, when I feel her presence, maybe reduce the me part, but then we are so she has to be in your action as well. But that protection that you speak of, since I heard Dr. Diane, and I left telling her at that time, now I know I'm going for the vaccine. And since then and now, I tried to register. Chaos took place with that, as you know. I didn't get
Divine is in charge.
So she's in charge. And 3 times I tried. I'm not getting through to any of the, so I have no anxiety. And she will be there now that I know it's the protection.
She's always there. She's always there.
The discipline that you always remind us of is not for control, but for our protection. And I thank you for that, because that is a calming answer. Very much so. Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you, Jane. Namaskar. Deborah.
Hi, namaskar.
Namaskar, Deborah.
My question is, how do you know if the experiences, or how do I know if the experiences that I have in meditation are actually divine gifts or psychological constructs, like of what I want to be happening in the meditation?
Well, a divine gift can also be a psychological construct or reconstruct. So sometimes you're looking for something, and an idea comes that is another construct. But that may be a construct that is necessary for you to go to the next step. So don't think that I don't need constructs. The construct may come from the divine as well. So knowing if it's coming from the divine is that which helps you, that which energizes you, that which expands your mind, that which gives you more energy, that which opens your space to more light, more sattva. So that is how you know. But it can come in the form of a construct, a whole new idea that is coming in your mind. I need to go read this book. I need to use this pattern when I'm doing this. I need to use this construct when I'm doing this. So the divine can guide you in myriads of ways. So you can't define how the divine can guide you, because she brings brilliant ideas to my mind in the moment. And it may be a new construct that I have to build, but it's coming from her, and I remain continuously aware of her as I engage with any constructs.
Right. So in the last several weeks, or maybe even 2-3 months, I have felt that I was meditating in the company of my unborn grandson. And I have felt a real connection. And in the past week or week and a half, I had such an exhaustion, and he was born during that time. I had such an exhaustion that I couldn't even meditate. I just felt like I was on fire. So what I did instead was I tried to just witness, because
that's meditation even if you're on fire, because fire is purification. So when you say you were on fire, what was that? What do you mean? What was on fire?
It was sparks. I felt sparks. I would sit for the meditation, and I would be bouncing, like a ping pong ball that's just...
Right, and when you were witnessing, sure, and when you were witnessing, did it continue?
I don't think I was witnessing that. I think what I was witnessing was more him being still with me and pulling. I was wondering if it was
So
him
yeah,
pulling
but
away
your
from
mind
me.
could have interfered with it as well, right? Because you have
Right.
this idea that you are having a disengagement with your unborn grandson, and he is being born. So you can be caught up in all past memories of that kind of experience that you would have had in the past of birth. So you cannot say then, but if it was a good fire, a fire that really brought healing to you or brought more kind of transformation, then that's a good thing. But if it was a fire that was depleting, it may come from your own past experiences
Okay.
and not necessarily a new divine one.
And because that's where I'm coming from, the psychological construct, right?
Yeah, in that case,
So-
yes. In that case, yes.
Right. So was he actually pulling away from me so that he could be born?
No,
Or
no, no,
is
no,
that
no, no,
just
no,
a
no, no,
construct?
no. You have to be very careful that you think you have this great connection with him beforehand. Possibly, but don't think it is.
Right.
So the child, it's a karmic process, a cosmic process. That child is going to come there. It's nothing to do about you. That child is already destined to be there in that body, and its soul is in the other world. So that's going to come through. My belief from hypnotic regression is that the soul enters the body during the birth process because it needs to breathe into the new body. It needs to bring its pranas into the new body. So it's not there in a body that is not fit for its habitation. When the body's coming down the birth canal, it's preparing to enter, and it slips in. It loses consciousness of itself. It slips in, and the moment the first breath comes, that's it. It's in the body. It's in ignorance now. It's in the body. So it will have excellent engagement with you, if anything, before that happens.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Namaskar, Deborah. All right, so we take Hridaya, and then we'll close for a little break before my noon meditation with you.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. About Deborah's story, you said whatever comes from the divine will be uplifting, opens up your space. But couldn't it be as well that she gives you a challenge and you don't really see it as uplifting or opening up my space?
Yeah, but even if it's not uplifting, you know it's her. That's a difference. Even if it's not uplifting, you know it's her. There's the connection that from her that's unmistakable. Otherwise, it can be your ego. So the first real thing is whenever anything comes from inside, your first thing should be, is it from my ego or is it her? When it's her, you feel a connection. When it's not her, you're on your own. So of course she'll give you challenges, but you know it somehow. You can feel the energy behind it. That's why I was asking her what kind of fire that was there. That you don't lose, even when a divine challenge comes, you don't lose that connection because of the challenge. When it's your ego, yes. Your ego might be challenged, but you know the divine is behind you, and you know it is her. And that sort of sensibility must be there. That is, the divine is putting me through the challenge, and that's how you could open yourself to the challenge.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Right? Thank you. Okay, everybody, so it's 11:48 according to my clock here. And I'm going to come back to meet you at 12. Those of you who would like to meditate with me, I'll be in the noon meditation with you. A lot of silence in that, though. So you get a chance to work with me in the inner space. Okay, I'll see you back in a minute.